All right, jumping in for another video. We're up to lesson 133 in the Course of Miracles. And I gotta be honest with you, I've read over this a few times and I've meditated on it. And I don't think I'm picking up everything that they're putting out in this lesson. Not that I'm saying I don't agree or anything like that. I just don't think that I'm getting everything that I should out of this one. But I'm going to continue. I'm going to share it anyway. And I'm going to give you my thoughts as I read it over, as usual. So one thing I did want to hit on was things are always changing in my life, you know. I'm always working on things. There's things that I know that are going on in my life that can be of improvement, and I am inside a family dynamic where, you know, things are always changing. So I haven't gotten as many videos or gotten to the channel as much as I really wanted to this week. And honestly, moving forward with some things changing inside my family, I might not. I might only get one video or two videos. Maybe we'll just say one at this point. I might just get one a week done, where I wanted to really, working up to this point, I really wanted to hammer home. I really wanted to work on this as much as I possibly could. But that's just life and how life happens. And things change inside the family and things like that. And it's like, okay, well, I might not have as much time for this as I thought I would, but I still want to work on it. I think it's a value, and I think it's important. And it kind of, in my mind, if I'm thinking out loud here on the channel, here in this video, I want to do more of it. I want to put more of myself into this. It just is conflicting, and there's resistance in the family, not from anybody in particular, just the time that it takes with other things that I have to get accomplished. And, making things work inside a family can be challenging sometimes. So if you're out there and you're in a family and you have kids and you have young kids, not that having younger kids is any more challenging than having teenagers or something like that, but I have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old, and it can really bring things up. It can really be challenging. It can really take a lot of energy. So, and that's the other thing I'm working on, is my energy and working on things in my life. One thing that I've really found out over the past couple of years, and I'll talk a little bit about, because that's the reason why, the last couple of days I've just been off. Today I feel much better. Is I'm always looking to find things that'll help me get to, I know that my physical body vessel could be working better. So I'm always searching around and trying things and doing this. And I've shared some on the channel, about things. Some I haven't shared. In this latest one that I'm trying, actually I've, the way I felt the last 3 or 4 days compared to how I feel today, I'm starting to understand. And this is the thing I'm getting to. And so many people are out there teaching this, and so many people are out there hitting on all of this, is how important detoxification and clearing the sludge and clearing the things out of our body that are slowing us down, right? Or even, really slowing us down, yes, and just reasons why our body isn't operating properly, right? If you've listened to my past videos and things like that, that I'm really big on the fact that we kind of are our own doctors, and the system itself really isn't going to help you much with preventative things to live really kind of a healthy lifestyle. They kind of just want to get you to the meds. They want to get you on their, Anyway, I won't go too far down that. You can watch. I have a video on my channel called The System, I think it was, that you can watch if you really want to, listen to more of that about my, listen to more of my opinions about that. But how important it is to get this stuff out. We've just had generation after generation after generation of, there's a lot of toxicity. There's a lot of stuff going on with the food. There's a lot of stuff going on just with our thinking. There's a lot of stuff going on in period, right? I don't want to get too far off of the lesson today, but I wanted to explain kind of what was going on in my life. Not that you guys would even notice. That's the thing. I just want to be open about this, because anybody that's watching the channel, yeah, you might notice that maybe there's a week apart videos or something like that, or he was posting 3 or 4 times and now it's only a week. You might not care. Nobody might, maybe not, whatever. But it's important to me to say things and hold myself accountable. So I really wanted to just say I'm working on myself. And when I'm working on myself, sometimes there's some symptoms or some, I don't know if I want to say side effects or how I want to say of working on sometimes your energy levels aren't going to be where you need them. And hopefully that's what I'm working towards, where I'll be able to get to a place where, I talked about toxins, there's parasites, there's all kinds of stuff going on with us that the system doesn't even talk about. Because if the system talked about that and people start eliminating that, they're not going to need all the drugs. They're not going to need all the stuff that they're pushing and making billions of dollars off of. So anyway, that's that. I've been feeling a little off here the last few days, and I know why, and I'm not going to get into detail on what exactly I'm doing, but if it continues to do what it's doing and how I feel today, and I build on that, then I probably will share some, definitely, to help people live better lives, period. So anyway, I'm about 6 minutes deep here, and I haven't gotten to the lesson, so let's get into it. So here we go. Lesson 133. I will not value what is valueless. And I get the gist of the lesson. There's just some stuff in here that I'm like, I was still chomping on, and it kind of got me down a little bit. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to go out on a YouTube video and share about something that I'm not quite understanding. But you know what? It is what it is. So this is just who I am and where I'm at in life. And here it is. So paragraph 1. Sometimes in teaching there is a benefit, particularly after you have gone through what seems theoretical and far from what the student has already learned, to bring him back to practical concerns. This we will do today. We will not speak of lofty, world-encompassing ideas, but dwell instead on benefits to you. So here you go, benefits to you, you and I. Paragraph 2, you do not ask too much of life, but far too little. When you let your mind be drawn to bodily concerns, to things you buy, to eminence as valued by the world, you ask for sorrow, not for happiness. This course does not, see right there, I read that and I think, well, right there kind of contradicts what I just was talking about before I got started on the lesson, right? I'm talking about bodily concerns. Now, that's what I mean. I think this course, is not the end all be all, right? I'm just going to continue with the lesson, but like right there, I was just talking about bodily concerns. I think it's personally important to focus on the things that I mentioned to get your health. I think we, over time, have become very bogged down by generational things and things that are happening in the world, the toxins, everything, what we're watching, we've been disconnected from God. We've been disconnected. So like all of that stuff, but also that the body's been weighed down by some sludge and weighed down. And if it's just like kind of, I don't know, what am I trying to get to here? If it's kind of, I don't know, maybe like a car with motor oil or something like that. Like the motor oil hasn't been changed and the car is just like, and it can't get the stuff out. It can't get the toxins out that it's the organ systems, the lymphatic, the liver, the kidneys, the brain, everything, the heart. It's not functioning on all cylinders, right? So that would go against what this just said. But like, let's not think too deeply and get too caught up on things, right? This course does not attempt to take you from the little that you have. It does not try to substitute utopian ideas for satisfactions which the world contains. There is no satisfactions in the world. And I think basically what, paragraph 2, kind of the last sentence sums it up, that it's saying like in this world, in this body, there's nothing that lasts forever. You can have temporary satisfactions, but really the only thing that lasts forever is the essence of God and that unity. I actually started reading another book. It seems like it's going to be absolutely awesome. It was recommended by a friend of mine. And it's called The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, and it's huge. And I started reading it, and I'm like, holy crap, this is another one that lines right up with, what I need to be hearing right now or what I need to be learning, I think. And it really, already reading it, it's just this essence of God, this unified feel, this unity idea of human consciousness while we're in the body. I just want to get to a point where I'm sharing and helping people get to a place where we can have that heaven on earth. I think we can get there. I think it's possible, So anyway, I think at the end of paragraph 2 there, I know I'm kind of bouncing around today, so bear with me. I think as I move forward here, I'm going to feel better and better physically. So like my videos will get better and better. there are no satisfactions in the world. I mean, if you eat an ice cream, like it's temporary satisfaction. If you have sex, it's a temporary satisfaction. You know, anything that you're doing, it's temporary. The body itself is temporary, you know? So I think this course just goes, and why it was really attractive to me it really goes right to the root. It really goes down into the root of things, and it just cuts out all the crap, cuts out all the in between. So that was what was originally attractive to me about the course. So paragraph 3. Today we will list the real criteria by which to test all things you think you want. Unless they meet these sound requirements, they are not worth desiring at all. So the lesson's going to give you some things to think about, things to measure your decisions upon. So that could be super helpful, right? Unless they meet these sound requirements, they're not worth desiring at all, for they can but replace what offers more, right? So there's this thing that offers more, and I'm thinking that thing is everything everything around you, that essence, that thing we call God, or that thing that people believe, you know, in Jesus Christ, or the universe, or the unified field, or this power, this higher self, or this greater power. The laws that govern choice you cannot make, no more than you can make alternatives from which to choose. The choosing you can do, indeed you must, but it is wise to learn the laws you set in motion when you choose. So you're setting some universal laws in motion when you make these choices. And but it is wise to learn the laws you set in motion when you choose, but what alternatives you choose what alternatives you choose between. Sorry about that. Paragraph 4. We have already stressed there are but 2, however many there appear to be. So there's 2 really, but we get caught up in a lot more than that, right? The range is set, and this we cannot change. It would be most ungenerous to you to let alternatives be limitless, and thus delay your final choice until you had considered all of them in time, and not been brought so clearly to the place where there is but one choice that must be made. Paragraph 5. Another kindly and related law is that there is no compromise in what your choice must bring. It cannot give you just a little, for there is no in-between. So here, I talked about this before in my videos, how I felt like in life I was very all or nothing. I was very, where I was trying to battle that and get away from that. And I know there's places where this kind of balance works in life, in the body. While we're dealing with certain things like what we're eating and how we're living life and how we're balancing work and life and, all these different things, there's this balance, or this kind of, some rules we can follow, or whatever, maybe 80-20 rule or something like that. But, here it's saying, there is no in between, and it goes on to say each choice you make brings everything to you or nothing. So this is where, of course, you could say, is this helpful? Is this not? You could take it or leave it. This isn't the end all be all, but like something about this lesson, I just feel like it's like conflicting with something. Maybe it's the ego in me. Maybe there's just something that I'll learn out of this. It's very important, that'll click later. And that's why it's important to do it anyway. Therefore, if you learn the test by which you can distinguish everything from nothing, you will make the better choice. Paragraph 6. First, if you choose a thing that will not last forever, what you choose is valueless. A temporary value is without all value. Time can never take away value that is real. What fades and dies was never there, and makes no offering to him who chooses it. That's a pretty big statement right there in my perception, right? I mean, that's saying, anything that's temporary is without value. That's pretty big, right? Time can never take away value that is real. That means we're not real. That means the body's not. That means we're not. This isn't even real what we're doing here, right? And this is the thing that this other book and many other resources I've come across where I'm like, this must be an illusion. This must be a dream that we're in. You know, and when we wake up, we'll be back with God. That we're never really separate. We're never really separate from God. We just are having this experience that we think is real, but it's not. It's pretty crazy. That's what I'm taking from this. Let's move on. There's one last sentence in paragraph 6. He is deceived by nothing in a form he thinks he likes. Paragraph 7. Next, if you choose to take a thing away from someone else, you'll have nothing left. This is because when you deny his right to everything, you've denied your own. Here's that world. Here's that unity thing again. Here's that I am God, God is me. You know, what was the lesson before? I can't remember it right now. You know, I am one with God. Something along those lines. It keeps hitting back on these universal truths and laws of the universe that aren't changeable. It's not, they're changeless. You therefore will not recognize the things you really have, denying they are there. Who seeks to take away has been deceived by the illusion loss can offer gain. Yet loss must offer loss and nothing more. So if you're stealing something from someone, you're stealing it from yourself. I'd covered this before in one of the lessons about forgiveness. Paragraph 8. Your next consideration is the one on which the others rest. Why is the choice you make of value to you? This actually lined right up with something that I was dealing with in my own life, and with some friends and other people and things like that. These next 3 questions that lists here hit right with, it was something dealing with how we can play victim in life, how we can do that kind of poor me and have that kind of boo-hoo mentality. And I can still get there sometimes. So obviously I'm nowhere near done here on this journey. Here, these next 3 questions hit right where it was something I was dealing with in my own life. So your next consideration is the one in which the others rest. Why is the choice you make of value to you? What attracts your mind to it? What purpose does it serve? So those 3 questions right there. I had something come up with a friend. I shared something. I was talking to another friend about it. Just why, for me, and this is just something personal that I'm going to share. For me, it was when I play victim, when I say something or I share something or a thought, actually, this doesn't even take it back even further than this, right? The thought comes, right? That's what this is all about, right? This is where we're getting this. We're breaking this all the way back down to where thoughts are originating from, right? Because you have that, but you don't really have that. I say it's like this, you feel like you're living in this split mind or this ego side and this dark side or this childish side or God, love, higher self over here. I constantly am like hitting on this stuff in my videos, and it's like this other one really doesn't exist. It seems like it does, but it doesn't really exist. And when you ask these questions, why is the choice you make of value to you? What attracts your mind to it? What purpose does it serve? You ask yourself those questions to these things that come up for you in life. I know for me, it was when I was playing victim, right? It was like, well, why would I want to complain about that, right? What am I trying to get out of that? When I say something to someone or I have this thought, of course, take it back to where does this thought originate from? God wouldn't want you playing victim. This essence, this love essence, the kingdom of heaven would never want you to be playing victim, right? It doesn't even know anything about that, right? This other thing that we're dealing with causes these thoughts, but it's not even real. Like to be a human, I say this all the time to my friends. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I don't even know what's going on here sometimes. Like, I don't even care. Like, I'm sharing this out publicly on videos. Like, this is where I'm at in life. This is just a crazy experience. Here it is, easiest of all to be deceived. For what the ego wants, it fails to recognize. It does not even tell the truth as it perceives it, for it needs to keep the halo which it uses to protect its goals from tarnish and from rust, that you may see how innocent it is. So it's the ego showing up in a way. That's exactly why you're asking these questions. It's the ego showing up, asking these questions to get its way, but it's hiding. It's hiding. And then I think the next paragraph gets into it deeper. So paragraph 9. Yet is its camouflage a thin veneer, which could deceive but those who are content to be deceived, right? So you don't even recognize what's happening right here. That's what it's saying. It's saying like you're content with being deceived because you don't even know. Like my friend was sharing something, he didn't understand that what he was, where does that thought come from? I was trying to get him to see where is that thought coming from? It's not coming from God. It's coming from something else. And then trying to change all that or live completely into God or love, can live into these things. It's challenging. It's challenging to let go of this thing that's been created and been there your whole life. But it's an illusion. It's not really there. Its goals are obvious to anyone who cares to look for them, right? So as you become a deep thinker, and that's one term that I got out of this other book, and I thought that's kind of a term that describes me well. I'm a deep thinker. I don't want to think of myself as this person who the mind just keeps going and it disrupts my life and stop. I've had people all my life tell me that, right? Say, oh, you think too deep into things and stuff. I'm like, what do you mean you think too deep into what are we doing here? Like I'm looking to get into what the heck are we doing here? What's my purpose here? If I don't think deeply about that, I'm just going to be out there living some mundane life, working some job that I can't stand, not really happy, but acting like I am. I'm a deep thinker. That's what I got from this good old book here, The Science of Mind from Ernest Holmes. Well, among many things, but I'm not even, I'm 40 page deep, and this thing's huge. I mean, check this thing out, and here it is right here. This book right here has, I guess, both editions. There was 2 different volumes or something. It has it all in one. So if you get that, that's the one probably to get. It'll have a lot of stuff in it, but let me not get too far off track here. So paragraph 9, yet is its camouflage a thin veneer, which could deceive, but those who are content to be deceived. Its goals are obvious to anyone who cares to look for them. Here is deception doubled. For the one who is deceived will not perceive that he has merely failed to gain. He will believe that he has served the ego's hidden goals. See, right there. He will believe when you ask this, or you have this thought, and you have this feeling, it's changing you. It's changing Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about this. It changes your body chemistry when you have this thought. So if you want your life to change, this thought needs to change. That's where it all starts. So he will believe that he has served the ego's hidden goals. Right there. Won't even know it. Won't even know it. The person won't even be conscious of it at times. But when you become a deep thinker and you dig into courses like this, you will start to recognize these things, and that's when your life changes. So paragraph 10. See, we're getting more out of this lesson than I originally thought, right? Yet though he tries to keep its halo clear within his vision, still must he perceive its tarnished edges and its rusted core, right? That's what it's talking about, the ego. It's his ineffectual mistakes appear as sins to him, right? So those things, that's a good point right there. So these things, sorry, let me adjust myself here. These things, we then start to feel feelings of guilt and feelings of sorrow and different things like that we really don't need to feel. I don't think, to be honest with you, that we need to feel those things. Maybe there's times in life until we get, what I'm saying when I say we don't need to feel those things, is not that we won't feel them until we get to this more higher consciousness, this awareness in our life of this way that we live, that we don't need those things anymore. We don't need to feel them. We don't need to flush anything out. We don't need to, whatever. And you might say that's the time you transition or pass on, transition out of here. Or maybe you stay for a little while and you teach. and you teach people how to get to that place. And maybe there's going to be more and more of that coming, right? Because more and more people will become deeper thinkers, and what's happening and transpiring, everything in the world, people are going to have to. They're not going to have a choice. So, where was I here? Because he looks upon the torrent. Wait, hold on. Where was I? His ineffectual mistakes appear as sins to him. That's where I stopped. Because he looks upon the tarnish as his own. Right there. Boom. What I was just saying. You're looking at it as your own. It's not yours. It's an illusion. It's not, it's not, if it's not God's, it's not yours. The rest, a sign of deep unworthiness within himself. So there's your answer, where it's coming from. You're asking these questions up here. Your answer's right there. It's coming from a place of unworthiness. Right? That not enoughness. That crap. That thing that I'm looking to just get rid of out of my life. Don't want it anymore. Nope. Don't want to feel that way. I can tell you, I've felt a ton like that in my life. He who would still preserve the ego's goals and serve them as his own makes no mistakes, according to the dictates of his guide. This guidance teaches it is error to believe that sins are but mistakes. For who would suffer for his sins if this were so? Paragraph 11. And so we come to the criterion for choice that is the hardest to believe, because its obviousness is overlaid with many levels of obscurity. If you feel any guilt about your choice, you have allowed the ego's goals to come between the real alternatives. There you go. Boom. What I just said, right? About if you feel any guilt, it's not, you know what to choose, right? You know to choose, that's not the right choice. If you feel any guilt about your choice, you have allowed the ego's goals to come between the real alternative. Unless you want to live in the ego, then you can choose that way. But if not, if you're looking to live a different way, like this course is trying to teach you to, and what I'm trying to help people with along the way, you now know, you now have a guide here to help make choices. And thus you do not realize there are but two, and the alternatives you think you choose seems fearful and too dangerous to be the nothingness it actually is, right? So like I think what it's saying there is like these choices we're so used to, they're really nothingness. And it's true, that seems really very scared. You can become very fearful, and it's dangerous to live that way, right? Like I've felt, as silly as that sounds, I've felt that way. I can feel as I start shifting, living in more into this life that I want to live, the old stuff really does. It does. It wants to hang on, and it makes you want to feel like, whoa, don't go that way, man. That's not where the herd's going. That's not where most people are. You're not safe there. You got to push through. So paragraph 11. And so we come to the criterion for choices. I already read that one. Sorry, I already read paragraph 11. Paragraph 12. All things are valuable or valueless, worthy or not of being sought at all, entirely desirable or not worth the slightest effort to obtain. Choosing is easy just because of this. Complexity is nothing but a screen of smoke. I mean, this is, when I read this, I'm like, oh my gosh, like have I made a mess? Have I made life super complex and making decisions? And I know of other people, and I know of a friend, same thing. Making decisions and making these choices in life it can be very difficult. This lesson is really trying to help you with that. Complexity is nothing but a smoke screen. I like how it says it's a smoke screen, right? Which hides the very simple fact that no decision can be difficult. Easy for this lesson to say, right? Like I know decisions in life can be very difficult for me, but it's because I'm allowing the ego side of me. I'm allowing that to play too much of a role in my life. It's my choice, right? There's a choice right there. It's my choice. I'm choosing to not live in the ego anymore. I'm choosing to live more completely and more. I say more because then when I say that right there, more, I'm still letting that hang on a little bit, right? With more. How about I say I'm going to completely live into this version of me? Not even a version. It's not even, you'll hear me say these words. It's not even a version of you, right? It's God. It's what you are. This is the game it plays on. This is the game that we're in. What is the gain to you in learning this? It is far more than merely letting you make choices easily and without pain. See, it's far more than just this, though. Knowing this, it's far more than just with choices. Paragraph 13, heaven itself is reached with empty hands and open minds. I really like that line a lot. I remember reading that the first time or hearing it. Heaven itself is reached with empty hands and open minds, meaning you don't need anything material here, ain't coming with you. You know, you'll reach heaven with this open mind. Or I think maybe what that even means maybe is, you know, and this can go, I don't know what the Course really thinks about, kind of you could call it reincarnation, or, you know, there's lots of people that believe, and I really don't know. I don't know all my beliefs on everything. Of, you know, you might keep coming back. You might have to keep coming back and live this over and over and over, until your mind becomes open. You know, you learn all of this, right? And there must be some, and I don't want to call it a reward because I don't think that's how it works, but it's like, it's just what naturally happens, like cause and effect. It's like, if you've done this in your life, then you level, like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So you get the next level, you get the next phase, you get the next, your consciousness is raised. So there's some sort of what we would call reward here in that, to do your work while you're here, to recognize this while you're here in the body, or, you know, not as a form of punishment, but you're just going to come back to keep relearning all of this stuff until you get it. So I'm here to say, let's just do it now. Heaven itself is reached with empty hands and open minds, which come with nothing to find everything and claim it as their own. We will attempt to reach this state today with self-deception laid aside and with an honest willingness to value, but the truly valuable and the real. Our 2 extended practice periods of 15 minutes each begin with this. I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek, for only that do I desire to find. I'll read that again. I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek, for only that do I desire to find. Paragraph 14. And then receive what waits for everyone who reaches, unencumbered, to the gate of heaven, which swings open as he comes. Should you begin to let yourself collect some needless burdens, or believe you see some difficult decisions facing you, be quick to answer with this simple thought. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. So, end of lesson. You know, that last part, I wanted to kind of say something about that. It's that unity thing. That unity thing's coming up for me again, as we all are one. We're all, you know, we're separated by a body here in this kind of dreamland illusion. But out of the body, we're all one. We're all this unified energy. We're all one. And if we could just act like that here, behave that way here, think like that here, you know, wouldn't that be a wonderful experience to have that unity, to have that and be able to experience the human body all at the same time? That's pretty powerful, right? Anyway, I think we can do it. I believe it. You know, as always, I'm always coming from a place of unconditional love. I'm always striving to be that and nothing but that. You know, I want to say that I'm not there yet, but that would be, it's already in me. I'm already it. I just have to keep healing. I have to just keep getting rid of the sludge and the darkness and the dark clouds and the things that are blocking it, or have been covered over it, or have been programmed over top of what I am and what you are. So we are the miracle, heaven on earth. So I'm out of here. Till next time.